Hi, I'm psychic medium Danielle Garcia, and today I am doing the energy forecast. Today is June 15th. We're a few days shy of Mercury in retrograde, which for empaths, that tends to mean, batten down the hatches and crawl into your cocoon and cave. It doesn't always have to be that way, though, right? I do find it very interesting that during the pre shadow phase of Mercury retrograde, lots and lots of energies have been kicking up in the world around us, right? Between COVID and protests and riots and fear and anxiety and overwhelm and imbalance and so on and so on and so on. It's a lot to deal with. So, this Mercury retrograde, which starts on the 17th or 18th, depending on where you live in the world, and ends on July 12th, I think that will be my focus for energies coming in this week. We've got 4 other planets in retrograde that are doing their thing. The Schumann resonance has been spiking on and off, as it has been over the last 3 months. Again, interesting parallel while that's going on. COVID and lockdowns and all this other stuff's going on in the world, right? I am a firm believer that the universe responds to what we're going through, and we're triggered by the universe, by the earth, as well as the earth and the universe are triggered by us. Energy, as they say, is energy. So what we do, what we say, what we think, what we feel affects everything around us, right? And I think that that's important. It's an important concept to focus on this week. So, what are you plugging into? What are you feeling? Where is the overwhelm coming from? Where is the anxiety coming from? If you look at this as a very simplistic process of pluses and minuses, of good vibes and bad vibes, it's like something that one of my teachers taught me about self-talk, right? We all get into that critical self-talk of putting ourselves down from time to time. And the way that you wash that away, or the way that you start a new pattern, is you think the opposite thought. So if I wake up in the morning and I just continue to repeat to myself, I am tired, I am tired, I am so tired, I am so tired, guess what? I'm going to be tired. But if I stop and if I catch myself in those moments of that tiredness and I say, I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful for this breath. I am grateful for that bed I just slept in. I am grateful for the 2 hours of sleep I just got. If I can do that, I can shift my perspective, I can shift my outlook, and I can shift my vibe. And by doing so, I can think more clearly. I can think of things and evaluate things at a higher vibrational space. Now, yes, that's incredibly simplistic, and I do that on purpose because simplicity to me is powerful. And the things that I rely on in my work, both personally and professionally, I take those simplistic but powerful practices out into the things that are not just a bad night's sleep. And guess what? They still work. Does it mean that when you shift your vibe and that you look at things from a higher perspective, that the world around you changes? Yeah, it does. It's not going to change overnight. It's not going to change 60 million people's perspectives and points of view. But you could shift one. You could shift two. You could shift 20. You could shift 100. Who knows? You'll never know your power and strength and light unless you try, right? And in the grand scheme of things, you're changing your own vibe, which is going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel more relaxed and be able to look at a certain situation and certain things that have been triggering at you differently. And let's talk about triggers. I took 2 days off of social media, which for me is like, I honestly thought, I'm not going to have a problem with this. But every hour I was reaching for my phone. Oh, I wonder what's going on here. Oh, I wonder what's going on there. Oh, I wonder about this person and that person and so on and so forth. It was a really great learning experience to me about what I was feeding myself. So not only what are you tapping into this week, what are you feeding yourself? What are you focusing on? Are you glued to the TV? Because not just from me, but from my guides, the angels, other light beings that I work with, what you're hearing on national media, at least in the United States, and they're correcting me all across the world, is not 100% truth. If you haven't picked up on that yet, start researching and even look at the sources that you're going into and researching, because not all of the resources out there are accurate, right? A lot of things are coming up in our media. A lot of things are coming up in our world that are not truth. So how do you come to truth? How do you know what to trust? A lot of that comes into faith, tapping into your intuition, and going with your gut. Don't go on just something you saw posted online, because chances are you don't know who's writing that story, what their agenda is, what their perspective is. Unfortunately, a lot of things are, unless you're seeing it straight on with your own eyes, you can't necessarily trust what's out there. Mercury retrograde is all about the magician. Look over here while I'm secretly doing something over here, distracting, pulling you off your path. And while Mercury retrograde has that energy, knowing the knowledge going into that there's going to be distractions over here and distractions over there and distractions up here, can help us to stay focused and balanced. Or you can go into the wave of anxiety. You can go into the wave of overwhelm. You can go into Mercury retrograde with the intention of, you know what, this is going to absolutely suck. Something always breaks down during Mercury retrograde. Communication is absolutely worthless. I'm just going to cocoon inside and I'm not going to deal with the rest of the world. Well, cocooning inside, not dealing with the rest of the world, kind of looks like a good plan right now, right? But it's not healthy, and it's really not warranted. Whatever you're hiding from, whatever you cocoon from, still going to be waiting for you whenever you step outside the door and have to, order Grubhub or run to get gas or go to your job or whatever that might be. So during this phase, this week, we're a couple days out of Mercury in retrograde. Let's think of different things that we can do to stay grounded. 1, hydrate, 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 hydrate. Can't even drive that point home harder. Water is a conduit for energy, right? Water helps energy to move through us. And just the same way as if you were to have a kidney infection and needed to flush those toxins out of your body, well, we want to keep flushing the energy out of our body, right? Energy, when we're under stress, when we're under strain, when we're anxious, when we're in overwhelm, our body goes into survival mode. And guess what? It starts absorbing hydration on a different level. And if you're a sensitive and if you're an empath, it's even more so, because we tend to run through our hydration stores at a faster, greater pace than anyone else. 2, take time every single day to do some type of spiritual practice. Pray, read your Bible if that's your thing, meditate, go for a walk and sit on Mother Earth and ground, get out, be in nature. 3, watch what you're plugging into. What are you watching? What are you vibing on? Are you out watching, horrific slasher documentaries or films and watching media after that? And do you really expect to be okay? I mean, I truly believe that some people have that way of cutting the energy and the cords and not allowing them those type of vibes to impact them, but that's not the norm. If you're falling asleep to some type of a horror movie or paranormal show or whatever, if you're thinking that those energies don't impact your sleep or impact your frame of mind, I truly beg to differ. So what are you feeding yourself? What are you plugging into? What energies are you absorbing? Are you doing something in your daily practice also for release? What are you doing for release? If you're talking to your friends about all of these things that are angering you and pissing you off, and they get angered and they get pissed off, well, guess what? You've just created more anger. What can you do to express, get it out, and release it? Doesn't mean you're going to solve the problem. Doesn't mean that all the rest of the darkness in the world is going to go away. You do need to get that out there, but what are you going to do to release it and step away from it? Think of cutting cords with fear this week, especially as the energies of Mercury Retrograde come in. So I've been drawn to draw a few cards from the Lightworker Oracle by Alana Fairchild. If you haven't checked out any of her decks before, they are absolutely wonderful. I think I own most of them. I am an avid Oracle card collector by all means necessary. I think that's probably my most ordered item off of Amazon.com are Oracle cards. All right, so let's see what comes through. First card, Sixth Ray of Devotion. What a beautiful depiction here, right? So we're looking at this card. We see the man, arms outstretched in receiver mode, and we see his hand over his heart. This is a time to connect with your truth as you see it. This is the time to be in that mode of receivership, of allowing yourself to receive light amidst all the darkness, amidst all the overwhelm, amidst all the anxiety, amidst all the strife. And now I've got cards popping out. Hold on just a second. The next card, Eternal Now. Another wonderful card, okay? I'm always looking for repetitive signs and symbols when I pull cards. So here we have another masculine depiction, hand over heart, other hand is outraised, right? Connection, your heart truth, connecting to Creator, having faith, having faith, having faith. They're literally chanting it to me in my head. The eternal now is allowing yourself to be in this moment of now. What is fear? Fear is a projection of what's coming, of what's going to be in the future. Most of the time, that's what fear is about. So when you focus on the now, allow yourself to find gratitude within the now. Allow that to be your driving force. The next card I pull is 1111, Messages in the Numbers. How many of us see repetitive numbers every day? Those are always, always, always messages from our guides and angels about things to watch out for, things to look for, things to be reminded of. As we see this picture here again, another masculine energy, arms outraised, connected fully and completely with Source. So look for the messages this week. Look for things that will benefit you on a higher, greater degree and level. Last card. Divine Grace, the law of efficiency. How interesting is this? Okay, so now we have a female. Arms outraised, hands clasped, looking forward, looking up, having faith. So, again, always looking for repetitive symbols. There are, it doesn't say on the box here how many cards are in this deck. 44. So out of 44 cards, I chose 4, and they all have arms outstretched in receiver mode. Coincidence? I don't necessarily believe in coincidences. So divine grace, the law of efficiency. If you raise your vibe, that impacts other people. It's better for you. You think of things more efficiently. You can see things clearer. And as you attain that clarity and that focus and that shift of perception and those higher vibes, it's not only just good for you, it's good for all of us. Keep those thoughts in mind and have a beautiful, blessed week.